Hello, people. I have finished the book. Nice rainy day here in Florida. I took yesterday off. Today is Saturday. Uh, the Wager. The backstory behind this book. It's a brand new book. I hardly ever get brand new books. I got this at Books A Million. I had this in my hand at Books A Million. And then at work the next day, one of the guys I work with is a reader, and he says to me, "Have you ever read The Wager?" I said, "No, but I had it in my hand the day before." And then after I bought it, we were at Barnes & Noble, and some guy behind us in line wants to chat, and he says, "Oh, have you ever read The Wager?" "Not yet, but I got it at home." So the book must be fairly popular. It was a decent book. I started this thing Thursday night after work, and here it is Saturday, and I have finished it. It's not a long book. It's only 266 pages, so I should be reading this quickly. Published in 2023. It was a good book, but I do have my issues with it. It's written, this is history. There's nothing in this book that is untrue, but the author chooses to write it somewhat in a novel format. Bottom paragraph, page 16. This and one other thing was my only real issues with accuracy. The average man of war was estimated by a leading shipwright to last only 14 years. And to survive that long, a ship had to be virtually remade after each extensive voyage, with new masts and sheathing and rigging, otherwise at risk disaster. In 1782, while the 180-foot Royal George, for a time the largest warship in the world, it's a 100-gun ship, which this author neglects to tell us. For a time, the largest warship in the world was anchored near Portsmouth with a full crew on board. Water began flooding its hull. It sank. The cause has been disputed, but an investigation blamed the general state of decay of her timbers. An estimated 900 people drowned. There is no disputed cause of the Royal George sinking. They were heeling it over. The only dispute I've seen is they were heeling it over to clear the barnacles. This is before they had discovered that you could just copper a ship. They were heeling it over either to clear the barnacles or to clear sea cocks. And they just tipped it over too far. And they had all the cannon moved to one side, and there was all these people on board, prostitutes and everything. So there is, I don't know why he wrote it. He chose to write it like that. When I first had this book in my hand, in Books A Million, I looked at it and I said, I know what this is about, and I flipped through it until I found Anson's name. I have read the book, The Prize of All the Oceans. It's Anson's voyage. This is one of the ships that was with Anson, but they have just horrible weather when they're rounding the Horn, and this ship just doesn't make it. It does round the Horn, but then the terrible weather continues, and they get shipwrecked. 1740, that's when they set sail. Unlike most of the books that I read, this one spends a little bit of time on character development, much like a novel. A lot of the book is their ordeal rounding the Horn, and when they do get around the Horn, there's a couple instances where, they can figure their latitude, but they can't figure their longitude, and that gets them into trouble. And it's all because at this time they did not have a reliable clock that they could put on board a ship. They could pretty much tell how fast they were going, how many knots they were going, but you had to have a clock to tell where you were, you know, in relation to east and west. They have a terrible time with scurvy. They had not figured out scurvy yet at this point. Then they crash on what comes to be called Wager Island, and they have a terrible time there. They break down into factions, much like the Batavia disaster. A lot of them, a surprising amount of them, get back to England, and then they argue about who's at fault. And one of the books that it reminded me of, I read this book called Custom of the Sea, and that's not about a military disaster, that's a private ship that gets fucked up, and they choose lots, and they eat this young man that's on the ship. And the reason it reminded me of Custom of the Sea is when they get back to England, there's a trial. But here they get back to England, there's a trial, and they seem to ignore the mutiny and all that other stuff. I don't know, it was a good book. I'm going to start on something else. Thanks for watching.